Hey everyone. So today I got a message from a friend on Instagram asking for advice, and I really wanted to share her question and the advice that came to me from the Holy Mother, because it speaks to exactly what's going on in the collective right now, which is seeing through the insidious levels of manipulation and gaslighting in people and in the system we live in. Okay, so her question was, I found myself in conversation with a man who is stubborn and rude about isolating women on her period. So I'm in India. This has happened for a long time. It still happens in some places, and in other places they've evolved out of that. I'm really feeling lost on how to explain this is just not logical. Can you help me with some facts? Okay, so This is how I see the reality right now, okay? There is this divine masculine archetype and divine feminine archetype. Both energies exist within each human. And as a feminine, I like to evolve into a divine feminine, and a masculine would like to evolve into a divine masculine. Then you have a distorted masculine, and a distorted feminine. And they live and operate inside the denser realm, the program realm, the realm where the human believes they are powerless, the realm where the human is operating out of anxiety attachments and toxic patterns. That's the dense realm, the fear realm. And the divine aspects are operating in the love realm. Okay, so in that fear realm, and in the program reality we live in a hyper-patriarchal, programmed, controlled reality, right? So obviously that filters down to the human level. And that would mean that any human that's stuck in that space will either show distorted masculine attributes, which is covert narcissism, or distorted feminine attributes, which is codependency. So the covert narcissist, the gaslighter, okay, so they're a very beta male, to be honest. The covert narcissists, they're not big and grandiose. They're entirely calm, really genteel, kind of boyish and sweet. So they come with a mask, and they do this. So you find yourself trying to communicate yourself, what you believe, what you do for yourself, whether it's about a period or anything else in your life. But they're the person who won't hear and accept what you're saying. They don't listen to you and go, oh, that's really interesting. They block you while you're trying to speak your experience. So in the middle of you speaking your experience, they're already arguing you or trying to divert you, right? They can't just be there and hold space and listen. Something about your experience makes them feel powerless, so they try to interject into it. No, that's not true. What do you mean? Who said you can do that? Well, that's actually, I'm doing it with too much fire, because they're usually incredibly calm and smarmy. There's a smarminess to this covert narcissist problem. They like to remain entirely calm because it gives them a sense of power, and they watch you get heated, and you're like, say, for example, my friend, no, you don't understand. It doesn't do anything, because when a woman's on her period, da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, well, I don't know about that. I think it's actually important that women do stay separate when they're on their periods. No, because you haven't heard what I just said to you. I'm trying to say this. And he will undermine every statement she makes. So as she's trying to communicate her experience and her truth, he is undermining it at every point. In a really cool, calm way sometimes not. And that is gaslighting. That is an emotional abuse, what he is doing. But here's the problem. You're in the room, still having the conversation with him. So when you ask me for some facts, that's the problem of the codependence. I need to get him to accept my point of view. That means I need to find better facts. The thing about the covert narcissist is nothing you say is ever good enough. You might come, I was married to one, and I have 2 master's degrees. I would come with the most profound and I'm hyper-mercurial and communicative, I would communicate superbly. And for some reason, he could twist it. And I'd be like, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I wasn't saying that. And then he would shift it that way. And I'd be like, no, you're not hearing me. And he'd make me feel like I wasn't communicating properly, or there was a problem in what I was saying. Not that it's like you walk into a court with people like this. It's like I thought I was just talking to a person in front of me. But they start to interrogate in a way that makes you feel like you're in a courtroom. And then you're there trying to justify what you've been saying. And you're like, why am I even justifying this? But you're going with it because you so want to be heard. You want to be understood. You want to be witnessed, and you want to be accepted. That is the attachment problem. That's the anxious attachment in you. You are attached to a regressive drama because of a parent in your life. One of your parents did not hear you, did not acknowledge your feelings, and you felt manipulated, shamed, a sense of guilt, like you weren't good enough. And when I go into these dramas with people, it's because I'm not facing an old wound where I'm trying to get my father, when I was a young girl, to accept me. Just like this. Let me just say my experience and let that be cool. Why when I just say my experience, do I now find myself on stage literally trying to justify what I just said? Who are you to make me justify my experience and how I live my life? And there will never, I say this to my good friend, you will never find the right facts. When you say, can you provide me with some facts to help? There are no facts. Because you announcing your experience as a woman with a fucking period to a guy who doesn't even have one. You announcing your experience and what you know and is good enough. You don't have to now go read books. And I would also find myself going like, well, clearly I need to research. I'd come back with the most profound research. He'd move that as well. And I'd be like, oh, shit, I clearly don't get it. So the codependent, the distorted feminine, is in a state of mistrust of her own feeling center, her own wisdom, her own inner wisdom, her own voice. And she is allowing herself to be controlled by a distorted masculine. So even though the dynamic there is the codependent is the victim and the covert narcissist is the perpetrator, you're both very toxic. You're both sick. And I found this happening to me not too long ago with a sort of acquaintance. And I started to do the justification dance while he would just undermine everything about me until I got heated, right? And then he got to do the whole, oh, why are you so angry? And then I realized, oh my God, I'm literally having a regressive episode in my ex-marriage and my childhood. It was like some shadow that came up to play out again in my life. Because I had to remember this texture of what the covert narcissist does, what gaslighting looks like. So to my dear and beautiful friend, leave the room. Do not engage with a person that makes you think you have to find facts and you don't have the story straight. You can't change their mind. You are accepted. You are beautiful. You are held. You are worthy. You are all the things that your subconscious is trying to get out of this guy. You're going to a guy that will never give you the deep things you require. That level of deep acceptance. So try and see when you are going into regressive dramas in your life. You keep going to a person who makes you feel like you need to get more facts and is blocking a very basic argument about periods, right? Right, so it's like, rather look at why you're doing that and cut away the relationships that make you do that so that you can find yourself in a healthier paradigm, in a more elevated and evolved paradigm. Then you come out of the play. Because at the moment, you're playing the distorted feminine archetype and he's playing the distorted masculine archetype. And you will just keep going for days, years, in fact, My marriage went for 7 years, and I kept thinking that I could make my husband understand. Kept thinking that I could change his mind, I could get more facts. But that's not how their illness works. You will dance for them eternally, and you will never be good enough for them. Because they're also ill and they have their own shit to deal with. But you can leave the room, and you can find people who will listen to what you have to say and be like, thank you for sharing that as your personal experience. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. And that's definitely also, this is a microcosm of the macro system we live in. We live in a patriarchal capitalist system that gaslights us, that makes us believe what we're seeing is not truly what we're seeing. No, but that doesn't make sense because the science says that. Oh, does it say that? I don't think so. You're an idiot. Come on, you don't really get it. And I've conditioned you through so many trauma programs and aspects to this matrix world. You're in a state of trauma. You have an anxious attachment to me as your system. So, like a covert narcissist, justify yourself. Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Go do a dance over there. Oh no, go do a dance over there. More facts. I don't think so. This is how it is. So don't let any person cause you to feel like you need to justify yourself. And this goddamn system we live in. Because, to my friend, this guy's argument, whatever it is clearly psychotic. He has no argument, it's done. And the system we live in and the arguments that they put forth about why we need to kind of doubt what we're feeling and thinking in our own bodies and minds. No, you can't trust that. You don't trust your body. You don't trust your mind. It's like we fall into psychotic beliefs because we've been conditioned to believe that our own intelligence and heart are liars. And that's the codependent. When you're in the room with this guy and you're trying to convince him of this stuff, look at your body. How does it feel? She's anxious, right? She's tight, right? Can you feel the tension coming up the neck? Can you feel the closing on the chest? That's her, the great mother, who is you, giving you, it's a loud hailer. We're just so divorced from our own bodies that we don't even know how to read our own clear signs. But if you just check in with your feeling center and that body, she's going, please can we leave the room? I can hardly breathe. This person is so infecting. And I'm sure when you did leave the room, eventually you felt like you had to So let's get out of the trauma bond we have with people and the system we live in. And the way you do that is look at your body, look at your feeling center, and analyze the situation. Okay. Sending you love. Bye. South Node Scorpio though, hey? It's all coming out. All the chochos. In South Africa we say chochos for little insects and little wormy things, you know. Chochos. Check these chochos here. The chochos are coming out.